Welcome, everyone. We are so excited for you to be here for this educational Zoom call all about gut health. My name is Megan Milakovic, and I have a bachelor's degree in health promotions. Tonight, I have a few other friends who are on with me as well, and we're just going to be answering questions for you about some buzzwords that you hear often, but maybe you don't really know much about. So I am going to turn it over to our fabulous host this evening, Miss Connie Shute, and she has a series of questions that she's going to go through tonight, and we're just going to take turns answering them. So I hope that you find tonight incredibly educational and eye-opening, and that you walk away with a better picture of why gut health is so important. So Connie, what are some of those buzzwords and topics that we are going to hear about and cover tonight?
All right, thank you, Megan. Okay, so words like Candida yeast overgrowth, leaky gut, probiotics, microbiome, dysbiosis, things like that. All of these words, I'm sure, have your head spinning the same way they did mine when I heard them the first time. But don't worry, they're going to be explained in simple terms so that you can understand it. So my first question is for Megan. What is gut health?
Okay. So gut health is essentially referring to our digestive system. It starts in our mouth and it goes all the way down to the other end. And basically, we're going to be talking about bacteria and how that plays a role in all of our gut health. And normally, when people hear the word bacteria, it's sort of in a negative manner. But a healthy gut is filled with tons of different healthy bacteria. And this bacteria can aid with digestion of nutrients, support of a healthy immune system, and even stimulate the nervous system to function properly. So you may not realize this, but trillions of microscopic organisms or microbes call the human body home. And they live on us, they live in us, and they actually outnumber our human cells 10 to 1. Sorry. So basically, you're more bacteria than microbes in the human cells, which is crazy to think about. And they play such an integral role in so many parts of our body's critical functions. And 95% of these microbes live in our gut, and we have a name for them. It's one of those buzzwords we said that we would talk about tonight, which is our gut microbiome. So scientists have been actively studying the relationship between our gut microbiome and our health, and what they have discovered is truly life-changing. It's why we're on here and we're sharing with you guys tonight. So these gut microbes are designed to keep us healthy, and they do this by educating and training our immune system to fight off invaders. So this naturally boosts our body's way of dealing with different toxins, allergens, and just other harmful microorganisms. And you hear about gut health in correlation to our immune system, and what's amazing is that 70% of our body's immune cells live in our gut. So this means that when your gut is healthy, it can improve your overall health. So we also have different microbes to thank for their ability to produce just essential vitamins like B12, folate, and vitamin K.
Okay, so you touched on the word microbiome. Would you mind going in a little more into the details about how our microbiomes get so unhealthy, and why do we struggle with yeast overgrowth?
Yes. Okay, so essentially, your gut microbiome is under attack from things like antibiotic, from our diet, high sugar, artificial sweeteners, soda, processed foods, food additives. These all are going to strip our bodies of these important microbes. So Emily is going to touch on this more later and how this can lead to leaky gut. So I'm going to save a lot more of that information for her, and she's going to blow you away, you guys. And you add even more damage into your gut if you're under stress, if you don't get enough sleep, and if you aren't exercising enough. Does this sound like you? Does this sound like anyone that you know? For me, I think it sounds like most Americans, because we all really seem to struggle with that. We live stressful lives. We don't sleep enough. And a lot of us just simply are not exercising enough. So did you know that just one course of antibiotics can affect your microbiome for up to a year? So how many of you or your kids have been on antibiotics over the last few years, or even really just this winter? So here are some different signs that you might be experiencing: bloating, discomfort after meals, constipation, mood swings. These are all signs of something called dysbiosis, which just simply means that your gut is all out of whack. And actually 3 out of 5 adults in North America suffer from dysbiosis. So if you're feeling all of these things, you are not alone. These are all also signs of a thing called Candida yeast overgrowth. It's another one of those buzzwords that we said that we would cover tonight. Now, listen, I'm not going to get all super nerdy on you. I will spare you guys all of those crazy details. But basically, we're all born with just a little bit of Candida yeast, and its job is to decompose our bodies when we pass away. But because of all the things we just mentioned, like the antibiotics and the sugars and the carbs and steroids and things of that nature, it all feeds into this Candida yeast, and it is nasty, and it just wreaks havoc on our bodies. It can lead to different autoimmune issues like RA, Hashimoto's, IBS. It can lead to leaky gut, chronic fatigue. That's something that I really struggled with since I was a kid. Skin or nail infections, brain fog, just lack of focus, ADD, ADHD, different skin issues, which Brittany's going to touch on in a little bit, issues like eczema and things like that. People also struggle with irritability, anxiety, depression, really, really intense sugar and carb cravings. And you guys, the list goes on and on. And my guess is that as I was talking about those things, either you can relate to that or you know someone who struggles with these. And so you might be wondering, okay, well, what in the world is this Candida yeast stuff that you're talking about? So basically it has a hard outer shell known as chitin, and the name's not really important, but it has a hard outer shell like that of a beetle. Think of like that hard exoskeleton. And the way to break it down is through an antifungal and digestive enzyme known as chitinase. So when you're looking at probiotics, you want to make sure that you're taking one that has this in it, because it is going to make all the difference.
That's such good info. Thank you, Megan. Okay, so many of you may not know, but our skin has a microbiome too. So my question is for you, Brittany. How is gut health connected to our skin, and can you actually improve your skin by improving your gut?
Yes, thank you, Connie. Hi guys, I'm Brittany. I am really passionate to talk about this topic because my skin has changed so much since I started improving my gut health, and it was an issue I struggled with for a long, long time. So first, let me just have you think about what you know affects your skin: your blood sugar, your hormones, your stress levels, food intolerances, inflammation. You know that when these things are out of whack, it shows up in your skin, whether it's through acne or through itchy skin or eczema or other inflammatory issues. But what you may not realize is all of those things are related to your gut health. They're regulated by your gut. So Megan mentioned dysbiosis, when your gut is out of whack. And again, that can be from antibiotics, it can be from stress, it can be from diet. Basically, our American lifestyle really causes our gut to be out of whack, even if you're trying to eat healthy and trying to do things to keep yourself healthy. So you may have heard of the gut-brain axis. There's a lot of research that shows the connection between your mental health and your gut health, but now even more research is coming out about your gut-skin axis. And that is basically, again, highlighting that connection between your gut health, which is regulating your blood sugar, your hormones, and cutting inflammation, and how that affects your skin. So this is kind of how it works. A healthy gut allows you to actually absorb the nutrients from your food and your supplements, which results in healthier skin. When you can actually pull them across the barrier of your gut and use the vitamins and minerals in your diet and in your supplements, it shows up in healthier skin. It also helps keep bad bacteria at bay, and a healthy gut helps produce anti-inflammatory molecules. All these help fight skin inflammation issues. And those issues are acne, eczema, rosacea, psoriasis. And if you struggle with any of those, you know how difficult it can be to live life with those issues. So if you want proof, just listen to my story. Starting at about age 3, I started really struggling with chronic eczema, and it showed up like under my ears, in my elbows, behind my knees, just scaly, itchy skin. I tried steroid creams, medications. I had a doctor who told me, don't use soap in the shower, stay out of water, all this stuff. Basically, nothing really worked. I would use medications and they would help a little bit, but the side effects were crazy. And I just didn't like being on them. And this continued into adulthood. So we're talking decades. And it switched a little bit to where it was so bad on my legs that I would not wear shorts because I had so much scarring and I would just tear up my skin. It was super embarrassing. And then on top of the eczema, I started to deal with adult acne. And as a professional, you know, a working woman, a mom, it was really difficult for me to deal with that. I didn't want to go on all kinds of medications, but I did end up on a medication to regulate my hormones just to keep my acne under control. You guys, I made a couple changes. I cut out gluten from my diet. I upped my water intake and I started taking supplements to improve my gut health, and everything changed. My eczema is completely gone. First time in my life. My acne is completely cleared up. I was able to come off of that prescription hormone medication that was helping to regulate my acne because just improving my gut health improved everything else. So it has been such a blessing for me to get healthy from the inside out. And the benefits have not just been my skin, it's been across the board. But I just love highlighting that with you, that if you're struggling with skin issues, instead of trying the topical approach of just putting things on, when you're focusing from the inside out, you can see improvements all across your health. So I would really encourage you just get your gut health under control. And if you have any questions about that, please talk to the person who invited you here. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Brittany. Okay, so now I have a question for Miss Emily. Emily, can you get all of the nutrients that you need from fruits and vegetables alone? Because I hear so many people say, you know, that I can get all the nutrients I eat from food, and, you know, I can get healthy from food and exercise alone. So do you think that this is true?
I really love this question because I was one of those people. I was always very into clean eating organically, thinking I don't need any extra because as long as I'm making sure I'm eating good, then that's all that really matters. And as I started to really dive into the research of everything, I realized that that's not actually true. It's actually kind of shocking. Only 10% of Americans even eat the recommended daily amount of fruits and vegetables. So if you're not even eating the recommended amount, there's no way that you can get those nutrients in your body through those. And then even more so than that, if you think of just our American lives, they're so busy. We're constantly on the go. Fast food is up like 2,000% in the past 10 years. It's crazy. And we're in such a good time with medical breakthroughs and all these great things keep happening, and they're coming up with cures and they're coming up with medication, but no one's really getting healthier. And that's what really stopped me is, you know, here I am eating 100% clean, eating 100% organic, and I'm still feeling tired and I'm still worn out and my hormones are still out of balance. I'm still dealing with blood sugar issues. So what is the deal? Why am I not getting enough? And that's when I started to look at the research of our food and of our soil. And we're in such an era that our soil is getting so depleted because of our excessive farming practices, because of our pesticides, because of how we're treating our food, because we're growing food in other countries and shipping it here. All of that travel time is depleting our food of its nutrients. So even if you're eating local, that's something that I love to do, you're still not going to get enough because that soil is not as nutritionally dense as it used to be so long ago.
Okay. All right. So, Emily, we covered, you know, the foods we eat and how most of our diets as Americans are obviously not what they should be. So can you tell me why it's so important to pay attention to actually what's being added to our food? Things like artificial sweeteners and, you know, things like that. How harmful are those for us?
Yeah, so artificial sweeteners have a lot of back and forth to them because so many studies have proven, you know, that they're not bad for you, that they're safe in moderation. And the problem arises when we're no longer using them in moderation. So moderation might be, okay, I'm going to have one Diet Coke a day. Well, what about the people who have 2 Diet Cokes or who have 5 Diet Cokes a day? Then it becomes excessive, and that's when it starts to become poisonous to our body, and even more so than artificial sugars. But there's a ton of preservatives. You have your food dye, you have things that are trying to give it more shelf life. Well, the longer the shelf life in your body, like it's going to be negative and impact your body in that way as well. And you end up tricking your body. So your body is intended to take the food, the natural receptors and hormone in your body are supposed to signal to say, okay, we've had enough. Okay, I've had enough sugar for today. And now we're tricking our body. It's thinking that we've had enough calories, or it's thinking that we haven't had enough calories, that our receptors are all out of whack. So you end up overeating. So when you jump on to that sugar-free diet, or you jump into that 0 calorie, you're lying to your body and you're throwing all of your hormones out the window. Your body can no longer regulate the way it's supposed to. And then it starts to get you to more. Then you jump into like your GMOs, your genetically modified ingredients, and those are detrimental to everyone's health. Stay away from them. They're lab created seeds to be natural pesticides, to be natural, to be naturally withstand weeds. And then what happens is you get super weeds. So then you get superfoods. So then you get all these chemical evolved nutrients that you're trying to put in your body, and it can't handle that. So if you're not buying 100% organic, even if you are sometimes, you can find pesticides and GMO residues on foods like that. You're just putting toxic into your body. And that's when things go really bad. So once you get those chemicals into your body and your food doesn't know what you're digesting, now you start getting into that leaky gut syndrome, which is detrimental to anyone's health.
Yeah. Hey, Emily, I'm sorry. But before you go any further, can you go a little more into the leaky gut? Like, tell us a little bit more about that and how the foods that we eat affect that.
Right. Okay, so leaky gut syndrome is a little bit comical. A lot of people think it's just a fad with a silly name, because leaky gut syndrome doesn't really sound serious, but it really, really is. So as you're eating foods and you're putting them into your body and you're tricking your body, now it's no longer able to absorb the nutrients. So gluten is a really good example of this. Our body really is not designed to break down gluten. So it goes into your body and it stays in a chunk. So even though you're chewing it, now it's in your digestive system, and your body can't actually process the nutrients that are in the wheat, because wheat isn't bad for you. It's the gluten that we can't break down. So if it can't absorb any nutrients from it to bring good to your body, now your body says, no, that's a bad guy. I'm going to fight it. And that is when things get bad, because now you have these whole particles floating in your body. They're literally ripping holes in your gut. And now you have huge particles of food swimming around your body. They go straight into your bloodstream. They go straight to your brain. Then you're having autoimmune diseases, and everything just kind of explodes from there. And it really takes a long time to start to heal your body. You have literal holes in your digestional system. So every particle, every bacteria, if you're suffering from colds, that's because all your germs are immediately going into your body. You no longer have that line of defense. Your immune system can no longer work the way that it was intended to, because your gut and your immune system go hand in hand. If your intestinal lining is permeable and is not able to protect you from the bad guys, now your immune system is in a constant state of attack, so it can't actually do what it was intended to do. So leaky gut may be silly, it may sound like a fad, but it is not. It is serious, and it is linked to so many serious autoimmune diseases. It's crazy.
Wow. Okay. Thank you so much, Emily. That's such good info. Okay. So now that you've learned about gut health, you're probably thinking, what now? You know, how do I get my gut in check? How do I get optimal gut health? So I'm going to turn it back over to Megan, and she is going to answer that for you.
Okay, so that's such a great question, Connie. We don't want to leave you guys hanging. So one of the ways that we can do this and just kind of start to improve our gut health is that we can feed those good microbes with prebiotic fibers. And prebiotics are simply food for the good bacteria that's in your gut. Another way is that you can start to seed your gut with good microbes that are found in probiotics, and the probiotics are the good bacteria. And you can get these through eating foods like yogurt, through supplementation, through fermented foods like sauerkraut, kombucha, all of that good stuff. And then by doing this, you are able to nurture and grow just your whole own complex and invisible community that is essential to your health. So bottom line is, when your gut microbiome thrives, it's going to mean a healthier, happier you. So basically, you can look at your gut like a garden. You want to feed it, seed it, weed it, and protect it. Now, I'm not going to go into all of the different ways that you can do this, but get back with the person who invited you on this Zoom or sent you this link because they would love to share with you more. And I would really encourage you guys, don't just take our word on all of this. Do your own research. Google gut health and whatever health issues that you seem to be dealing with, like acne, fatigue, anxiety, poor sleep, and just see the connection for yourself. So I just want to thank you guys again so much for joining us tonight, and we hope that you really enjoyed it.